We're interrupting this program in order to begin our regularly scheduled broadcast. Thanks for watching the Lit TV Network.
Hey, welcome back to Monarch Mindz.
Welcome back to Monarch Mindz.
I'm Jess.
And I'm Damien.
So today we are actually at one of the properties that I just purchased and closed on. We're over here in the Tallulah North Shore area of Jacksonville. So pretty big house.
Yeah. I walked through it. I was surprised. It doesn't look that big from the front, but once you get inside, it's quite larger than I thought. Yeah. It's a nice area too.
It is a nice area. You got the river not too far away from here too.
Okay.
So a lot of people, fish and stuff over here.
Okay.
So
I can see that, yeah.
Yeah. But nice area, nice house. We started doing a little bit of the rehab work. I think you can kind of tell when you walk in. Yeah. Like we got some plumbing work going on. We had to actually repipe the whole house basically.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Because galvanized pipe.
Ooh, I was talking about somebody with that today, and they had the same thing, and it's just those pipes once they get old. And,
right.
That stuff is just bad.
Oh yeah. And our water here in Florida is not the greatest.
So it's not Michigan water.
No. So you get a lot of grime and buildup already.
Yeah.
With the hard water, and so your faucets and plumbing can.
Oh yeah.
Only handle so much. Galvanized piping at least, so.
Because it gets all clumped up in there, and then your pressure will go from
exactly
what it was supposed to be to barely none.
Yep.
So definitely done it, but I know a lot of people down here in Florida. They have those rain soft or other type of
water softeners,
water softener systems.
Right.
Yeah. So I personally have one, and I can tell the difference. Mm-hmm. Because if not, I turned it off one time for like a month or something. I forgot, and you could tell the water don't taste right.
Right.
Everything is kind of, even the toilets and the tub. It's like, oh no. So I went, made sure I turned it back on, and I think the salt, where you got to throw the salt in a little bucket or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep. I've seen it like that. Yeah. Very cool. I don't know if I'll do that here because, like I said, this place is probably going to be a rooming house.
Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth the investment.
Yeah.
But yeah, we started cleaning it out. There was a lot of stuff that was left here, old books and.
Some of that stuff might be worth some money.
Some vinyls.
Oh, definitely those vinyls, and I think you said you had a truck out. Something about.
Yeah, there was a truck left.
Wow.
There was some jewelry left.
Oh, yeah, get that jewelry checked out,
Yep, I'm going to have it checked out by a jeweler so we can kind of see, if there's any value to it. If it is.
It's extra money,
Right, exactly.
Extra money,
Yep.
And I noticed some of the furniture is, I would consider antique, so.
It is, yeah.
I mean, I would definitely take a look.
That old wooden heavy
stuff. That's something to break your back, take you down the stairs. Oh,
right. Yep. So, I just plan on leaving that, in the rooms, so.
That'll help out when you, so you don't have to furnish as much.
Yep. And I'll probably get some stuff off of, Marketplace or whatever, and, just spruce it up a little bit. But, I'm not looking to put a whole lot into this property.
Okay.
So I'm trying to cut corners here, do some stuff myself, and, just kind of.
I mean, that keeps the budget tight, and then, later on, your returns, or as you cash flow, you can always upgrade to different things. So,
exactly. And then I'll probably do a cash out refinance on it.
Okay.
Pull out some equity, improve the bathrooms a little bit more, do a couple extra little things with that money. So.
Okay. Well, I mean, that'll definitely bring the rents up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's good. So now what are we talking about today?
So today we are talking about seller concessions, and we're going to talk a little bit about crypto and kind of, where the market is with that right now. So.
Okay.
You want to dive into crypto first?
Yeah. Let's start. As you know, Bitcoin is up again.
Yep.
It's been in the last 2 or 3 weeks. I think it's up almost $6,500.
That's not bad.
Considering I think it's like 23 now, and just a few weeks ago was it 16.5.
Right.
So, if you caught it at the 16.5, or even if you caught it at the 19.20,
right.
I mean, you still made some
a
margin.
little something, yeah.
And then Ether Ether is still going pretty good. It's
Okay.
still ticking up. A lot of the other altcoins, they're still going pretty good. And I think it's just the markets and the stock market. Everyone's trying to, come back, and that's the way you usually see it. Beginning of the year, everybody
Right.
really, gets to grinding, and
Yeah.
the Christmas is already past, the
Yep.
holidays, so you kind of know, um, what the companies look like during that time.
Right.
So then that also helps the stock market, which also is helping crypto.
Now, speaking of crypto, there's been a lot of media around, or negative media around cryptocurrency and some of the people that are involved in it. And I know it seems like there was a lady who is
Yeah.
involved in some of
Some
the
scams or
the
something.
Ponzi scheme
Some of the Ponzi
scams.
schemes, yeah.
Yeah.
That's just one of those things. I mean, whether it's fiat money, which is most of your country currencies, or even going into crypto, you're always going to have that. It's just
Yeah.
one of those things that, someone sees a opening or a timing or somewhere where they can make some money without working for it. Um, it just happens, and you're
Right.
not going to, you didn't stop it a long time ago, and you're not going to stop it now, and you're certainly not going to stop it in the future
Right.
as we get into it. But a lot of that type of those scams or whatever she was doing, those were more person to person. So it wasn't like she was going into the systems and triggering the systems to give her
Okay.
money back. So that's a big difference.
Gotcha.
Because crypto is a lot better than I guess some of your banking systems. Like I think who was it, Bank of America or something?
Yeah,
just
they just had
glitch. Can you imagine?
That's pretty big, yeah.
Yeah, I think people were saying like $500-$600
Yep.
or more
Missing from bank
or
accounts.
missing out from some of their bank accounts.
Issues with Zelle. So yeah.
So and then now the bank had to go all the way back and figure that out and put everybody's money back. Where a lot of times with crypto, you're not going to have that going forward. And it's serious now because people aren't paying attention, but a lot of the countries, they are bringing into existence their own
Right. We've been
crypto.
talking about that. Yeah.
I mean, I think I was listening to something today, and they were saying that the digital dollar is already out there. They're starting to mess with it a little bit.
Okay.
So that just tells you that if the government's in on it, some money to be made
Right.
somewhere.
Right.
So it's just it's going to continue, and it's going to stabilize hopefully sooner or later. But the biggest thing is we have to remember some of those cryptos and coins will be more of like a storehouse, like your savings for value, and then you'll have a lot of other ones that are more like currency, like your dollar where you spend every day on common items.
Right.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll keep following it and see how things play out.
Oh yeah, I think this is going to be a good year. I know they're coming into early next year where they're supposed to like split or like half or whatever, like a halving.
Okay.
So you'll definitely see as we get towards the end of the year, I suspect that it's gonna go higher. I mean, I can see going back in the 60s or 70s later on this year. I mean, that's very possible. So, and the thing, it's only 23 now, so
Right.
you may want to go buy a little bit. And even like the ETH is only 1,600, and I think this time last year was like about 3,500 to 4,000.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and some of those altcoins too.
Yeah.
Watch the altcoins.
Everything is only going up. I mean.
Oh well, that's inflation.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's killing us right now.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, do your homework. Get in while you can. Make sure it makes sense for you. I think that's the most important thing. So.
I think that's the biggest thing. And then I know going forward, I think this year you're going to see a lot of governments and cities and counties start doing some of the NFTs, some of their paperwork through NFTs.
Right.
To make it easier. They've already done a few houses, so you can with the ease of that is just the beginning.
Right, exactly.
So, if you don't know about that, then you definitely should start learning about it. Especially, I think, in real estate. I think that's going to be one of the easier places because it's more, you know, when you're selling something, it's a transaction base.
Right.
That's easy to follow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can see it really big in like real estate, you know, maybe selling cars or something where they're selling even like warranties.
Okay,
You
yeah.
know, different things like that. So, it'll be easy.
Yeah, that'll definitely cut down our paper. So.
Yeah. You know, all you got to do is once you have that little contract number and everything to it, then like it's there for pretty much ever.
Yeah. People still probably want paper copies though.
Well, you know, that's,
Yeah.
you know, that's how it is. You know, you don't want to. That's just. It's until we learn. You know, like before, like everybody had, you know, fax machines and typewriters and, you know, the carbon copies.
Right.
And now, you know, you think you just copy and paste and email.
Right. Everything's more digital these days.
Yeah, I mean, and then when you think about it, like your email is right there on your phone.
True.
You know, all your media stuff. So all your NFTs, all your currencies, all that stuff will be there. Like, I don't know about you, but like for some stuff, I use Apple Pay.
Same here. Yeah.
And, you know, that's going to be the same thing with a lot of the crypto. It's going to be that tap. I think even on some of your, I know on my like debit cards and some of the other cards, I have it where I can just tap.
Okay.
Like I don't even swipe.
Yeah, on the card itself.
On the card, I don't even swipe or put in.
Right.
Just tap it.
Yeah,
I'm
easy.
done. Yeah. Even at the gas pump, I do a lot now.
Yeah, I'm starting to do that too.
Yeah, you know, just boop, and I'm ready. You know, and I don't have to sit around and punch everything in.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I don't know about other people, but I notice it's a faster transaction.
It is. You're not sitting there waiting all day.
Not sitting there waiting all day and for everybody to do something. So.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's more of that to definitely come.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But let's get into seller concessions.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You got.
I know. You know, the market has changed.
It definitely.
There's a difference in the market from what it was this time last year. Prices are about the same in a sense.
I'm surprised.
About the same.
Yeah.
But
so what happened to the big dip? Everybody said like the crash.
Right.
Where's that at? I don't
there
see
really
that
is
yet.
no crash.
No, not at all.
I think when it comes to real estate, you know, over the summer, a year ago, people were making, you know, these crazy offers where they're bidding 20, 30 over the asking price.
Yeah.
I think that's gone.
I don't know. I've had some people and they're still getting multiple offers, 2, 3, 4 offers.
Crazy ones like that though, where it's like.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, no one's bringing $100,000. Like, plus, I mean, that's gone. But you're still out there. They're still getting multiple.
Yeah,
offers.
you still get these properties that are, of course, turnkey, move-in ready, not a single thing for you to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we expect multiple offers to be on those, right? Everybody wants those properties, but just in general, you know, I think there's a little bit less of that, or the crazy going over the asking.
Yeah, that's gone. I think that's gone for a little while.
Yeah, until at least the summer, maybe.
I think the summer, and if inflation comes down and the interest rate comes down a little,
right?
If it comes down to like the 5 range, you know, maybe a tick,
it's got to be some sort of balance. I think, you know.
Then I think you're gonna see a little bit of the craziness going back because, you know, then it's like, oh, well, I better get it now before it runs all the way back up.
Right. So I think people are being a little bit more conservative. I know, for example, I have a buyer that I've been working with. Been working with him for almost a year now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we were, like I said, it's been a year. We started looking last year, summertime. Just crazy. I mean, this is where properties were getting like 30 offers. You know, just stupid numbers of offers. So competitive that it
didn't even make sense.
Making you not want to buy a house.
Yeah. But now here's the thing now. All those people that didn't get the house, they're still out there. They're sitting on the sidelines. They're just waiting for what they consider the right time.
Exactly. So like now is a good time for this particular buyer. We started looking again.
I think now is perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
Me personally, I always buy, you know, in the November to Feb. I usually try to buy then.
Right.
You know, because there's not as much competition. You know, and I think I get a better price.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Less competitive.
Yeah, a lot less competitive.
Yeah, a lot less competitive. So we put an offer in on property, and the seller came back. They countered, not about the price, but about the closing date. I guess they're trying to close faster than what the buyer.
Oh, okay.
And then we put on the contract. They wanted like a 30-day close.
Oh, okay.
And I think we had on there 45-day. So, the buyer agreed to doing a 30-day close. And if we needed to do an extension, we would just do one.
Okay, that's pretty good. Then.
But my buyer did his home inspection. And a lot of stuff came up.
Oh, my goodness.
We discovered the roof was uninsurable. So, like, the roof...
it's too old.
Too old.
Oh, man.
Yep.
That's
It's
crazy.
reached, basically, its end of life.
Okay.
Maybe a couple years on it. There's no leaks or anything like that, but just up there in age. And you know how insurance companies these are.
Yeah. If they want a
These
brand
days are-
new, they want a brand new.
They wanted a brand new roof. So, that was one issue. Air condition. End of life. And there's a lot of other little small things. Like, they had a leak, a visible leak coming out of the spigot, well, not the spigot, out of the handle. When you turn the hot water on in one of the bathrooms, hot water came spewing out of the handle.
Okay.
So,
It's probably a washer
it's
too,
fixable.
something
Right,
like
it's
that.
an
Yeah,
easy
okay.
fix. But other little minor stuff like that, WDO stuff,
Oh.
my buyer's going VA. So, using a veteran's loan,
And they
are
tough.
not tolerable when it comes to, WDO, wood destroying organisms,
No.
and,
The VA is tough.
all that stuff needs to be repaired.
Oh yeah.
So, the seller agreed to make that repair for sure. It's a deal breaker. But the roof, they wanted to give him a credit for the roof and not replace it.
Okay.
Which they later came back and said we would replace the roof. But there's just a lot of little work, for my buyer to do, paying a price of $260,000. And not having a newer or a air conditioner with a little bit of life left on it.
Yeah.
A roof with a little bit of life left on it. These little plumbing issues, that stuff should be fixed. It should have been fixed before the property was listed, in my opinion.
Well, sometimes, and I'm not saying all people, but some realtors I've heard tell them, well, don't just wait and see what the report says.
Mm-hmm.
And then if the report says that you just have to, then wait.
I've heard that too.
So, I mean, I understand both sides.
The visible stuff,
Yeah.
you gotta fix the visible stuff. If you
Definitely.
know about it, beforehand,
Oh, yeah.
before the buyer catches it, come on now, like. But yeah, it's just a lot of little stuff. Up in the attic, there was evidence of rodents, and yeah, my buyer was like, "I am not playing this." Like, he wanted the attic to be cleaned out because it had droppings and stuff.
Yeah.
He was like, "No, I'm not living like that. Like, they need to clean this stuff out and make
Somebody
sure."
come do it. Yeah.
That it's whatever access point is accessible for the mouse or mice to get in, like it needs to be closed up.
Closed
Like
up.
he just was so adamant about having to pay $260,000 and still have all these little issues to deal with.
Wow.
Like if you're paying that amount of money, which most buyers they're not expecting to be making all these out of pocket repairs, out of their own pockets.
Well, but you got to remember, $260,000 is not what it used to be. What they say, was it today's prices?
Yeah.
Not yesterday.
Right. Which is true.
One of them, and that's
Yeah.
just kind of the thing.
Yeah.
So
like the seller, they were
Okay.
open to making some concessions, and they were going to do, like I said, a $6,000 roof credit, and then they came back and said they will replace the roof. But for this case, I think for my buyer, it's just a little too much for him,
yeah,
to do out of pocket, so.
I mean a roof.
Oh yeah, that roof.
They're not cheap.
They are not. Air conditioned either,
Oh, I mean, yeah,
You're looking at at least $6,000,
yeah,
in
that
that.
easy,
Yeah.
depending on how big the house is.
So sellers, I mean, they are, coming around, and there's a little bit more leverage that buyers have these days because of the way the market is. But still, I mean, sellers, they're making somewhat of adjustment to the market where they are being a little bit more giving, I think,
Okay.
on concessions, like paying some closing costs. He didn't ask for this. My buyer didn't ask for that. But paying closing costs, people are doing that, I'm seeing. Home warranties. I think people were afraid to ask for anything back when the market was like super hot.
Oh yeah.
You know, now it's like
what you asked? Oh,
right.
throw them out.
Exactly. So now I think
out.
it's a little safer to ask for a $500 warranty or a warranty up to $500.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but yeah, I'm starting to see a little bit more of a tolerance and leniency when it comes to sellers these days.
Well, I mean, as a seller, you know, you have to think about both sides. Is it easier for me just to give them a credit or some kind of concession versus do I need to go pay and do it myself or have someone else do it?
Right.
Then you got to think about the time frame.
Yep.
So, you know, a lot of times that may come into place.
Yeah.
You know, like for a roof. I mean, to get on somebody's schedule and get it out there, you could be 3 or 4 weeks.
Could be, yep.
You know, and you're just waiting on that. Then someone has to come back out and inspect it to make sure it's good before you can go on with the deal. Yep. So, I mean, you know, it's a lot.
It is. Yeah. Hey, whatever it takes to get the deal done.
Yeah, I mean, I think you'll see...
As long as the numbers make sense.
Yeah, as long as
for both people, you know.
So now, do you think you'll see more seller concessions throughout the year, or you think it's going to get tighter later on?
I'm already starting to see more seller concessions listed on the MLS.
Okay.
Yeah, so like before, you wouldn't see anybody offering to pay closing costs.
Oh, yeah.
You wouldn't see anybody offering to buy down points.
Not.
You wouldn't see anybody just generously giving you a home warranty. So it's like, you know, with the interest rates the way they are, you know, I think sellers are thinking they have to do a little bit more to incentivize buyers, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, come look at my house, you know, put an offer on my house. This is what I'm going to offer you in return. So it helps for sellers, you know, when they do throw those incentives in there. And even real estate commission too. I'm starting to see bonuses thrown out there in the MLS remarks, you know, where sellers or listing agents are offering more than the normal 3%.
Okay.
Or they're back to offering 3%.
Oh, okay.
I've seen a lot of listings.
Like,
1.5%, 2%.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. And we're talking real estate commissions, you know, 1.5%, 2% of the purchase price, which can be a nice amount. Oh, yeah. But, you know, 3 is kind of like the standard, normal, you know, here in Northeast Florida. But I'm seeing, you know, those numbers bounce back to 3, you know, plus some bonuses.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad. I mean, you know, it's always put a little bit more in your pocket sometimes.
Oh,
you know?
Hey, money, you know, money will incentivize some people to get their customers out there looking at properties and, you know, putting in offers. And
so now, do you think that the realtors are trying to work with a lot of the sellers to help them come up with concessions to move their properties? Or
I think so. And I say that because they're now including, like, you know, these concessions in the listings.
Oh, right.
So, like,
so you
like,
know right off the bat.
Exactly.
Okay.
You kind of can tell, like, all right, they thought about this and they understand the market. They obviously do want to sell the property. You know, if they're including this piece of information to the public, you know, because sometimes in the private remarks, which is what we can see as realtors, the public can't see. So I'm finding that in the public remarks about the listing itself, which is what everybody sees when they look up a property on Zillow, I'm finding that, you know, agents are including information about what the seller will do or will repair or, you know. So, yeah. Because
then I guess the buyer can see, like, oh, okay, they're willing to work a little bit.
Right. Even though the property's being sold as is, the seller is willing to, you know, give a home warranty or something or pay closing costs. So.
That's pretty. I mean, so now when you're the seller yourself and, you know, selling your flips and everything else, do you try to lessen or sweeten the deal with concessions? What do you like to do?
Me personally, concessions. What are those? What's a concession? All right. You know, so as a seller, it's a little different. You know, when you're in the seller's shoes, right? When you're the seller yourself, you know, you're trying to make all the money that you can off the property. So with flips, you know, in my case, I'm making sure like my punch list of stuff is done. You know, any, you know, spewing water coming out of a faucet. No, we're not going to have that at my house, at my property that's listed. No way. or somebody's, not coming back to the crew,
Yes.
if we got those problems with contractors. But yeah, there is some flexibility. I want to get the deal done at the end of the day. So as long as, it makes sense for my numbers, I'm all for it. I've given a home warranty before.
Oh, okay.
I've done price reductions, of course, which is normal. Sometimes you overprice a house a little bit, trying to squeeze what you can get out of it.
See what the market will say.
Right.
See what the market will say.
Exactly. But at the end of the day, I'm all about what makes sense, for both parties, as long as it's in reason and it makes sense with my numbers.
Yeah. I know, like, when some of the sellers that I work with, I always try to tell them, you have to think about it. Like, how long do you want it to sit on the market?
Right.
Really think about it at the end of the day, what is your minimum number that you have to walk away with?
Right.
And then go from there. Try to find a happy medium where it'll sell as fast as you want it, and you'll get the most that you can get for it.
Right.
Without, sit on the market just...
Yeah, because you don't want that.
No, I mean, because after a while, everybody's like, oh, what's wrong with it?
Yep. Exactly.
I know, that's what I think. If I see something sitting out there for, like, weeks and weeks, I'm like,
Yep, me too. A lot of people, feel that way. Yeah.
And then, like you say, if you walk in and you see that the water is spouting out, or like little punch list items.
Dang, okay, well, what else am I about to see? It
So
makes you think what else they're hiding.
Too.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we probably reached about our time here on this episode.
Yeah,
I can't see our timer, but
I think we're getting pretty close there.
Yeah, we're getting pretty close. But you have to do your due diligence, right? For any property, you want to make sure the numbers make sense.
Yeah.
So
now, what would you tell a seller? What would be the top 3 concessions that you would say, okay, as a seller, you need to really consider those?
I would say consider helping the buyer with their closing costs.
Okay, that's a good one.
A home warranty.
Okay.
People want to feel protected a little bit, having that reassurance going to, older home maybe. And I would say just be willing to make repairs or give a credit towards repairs if you're not going to make repairs on your own.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
I think that would probably be most of mine. Especially the warranty. I would definitely think you want to give some type of home warranty.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what gives people the reassurance that okay, like, the house is good. I'm going to be all right for a few years.
Exactly.
Because when you buy a house, you don't want to move in and then get hit with like a $10,000 repair.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think those are probably the things that I would think about the most.
Yep.
And I would suggest.
So there you have it, guys. The top 3 concessions.
The top 3, yeah.
Yep. So if you're ever in a situation where you're, trying to buy a property, you got those 3 things that you can definitely ask the seller for or to help cover, when it comes to buying a house.
Well, we're going to say goodbye for today.
Yeah, we're going to say goodbye for today. And we'll catch you next week, 8 p.m.
Thursdays?
Yep. Thursdays on Lit TV Network.
All right. Thank you. Have a
All
good
right.
night.
Take care.